He's in front, wearing the yellow bib, the World Cup leader. He's got 1 minute and 1 second ahead of Haitalahti of Finland. Frank Look of Germany looking eager to go off in third position. Well, the list contains many, many Germans, but it's this man that they're all going to have to chase. He's the fastest skier on the biathlon circuit. He's the second fastest skater in the world at the moment, and it's going to be a very tall order for anyone to take any time out of him. We've just seen Magdalena Forsberg run away with the women's event, opening up a gap of over 3 minutes over her nearest rival, Elena Zabrilova, who came from 14th up to 2nd. I'm Patrick Winston, delighted to be with you again for the biathlon coverage. Alongside me, Mike Dixon, the veteran biathlete, former cross-country skier, switched to biathlon, heading for his 6th Olympics in Salt Lake City. And Mike, what do you think? Bjorndalen, anyone? Look at his technique up here. Skate 2. No one else has managed to do this. I can't believe, well, he does switch just at the top, but that's a very, very steep, cruel hill, and he just breezes up it. And what amazed me, we were with him up in Kuopio in Finland when he raced in the Rafael Poiré is in the same sort of league. A very nice, graceful.
That's right. He becomes so efficient because he is able to race animal. And Ulе-Éinar now is coming into lane 1.
Now, have a look at this shooting time. We'll time his standing just so we've got a comparison with Martina Glago, who's perhaps the quickest on the women's tour. The prone, he has improved.
That was only 18 seconds to the first shot.
So we have a race on our hands, perhaps. He's got a minute advantage, remember, and it's going to take him a good 45 seconds maybe to get round the 2 loops. We'll time them.
I was surprised he went for that tactic. We saw Magdalena coming in again with a 1 minute cushion. And Magdalena was so relaxed, you could feel the control. Ulе-Éinar came in there, he tried to rush it, he felt as if he was being hunted down, and now he's suffering 2 loops, so probably about 45, 46 seconds.
Well, there's the first loop completed. He started at 6:17.
So only about 20 seconds for Ulе-Éinar.
That's 30 seconds, and he's not quite through. It is going to be around 40. Say if it's 57, that's 40 seconds for the 2 loops. And if any of the chasers go clear, that's almost exactly what it is. So a 20-second penalty loop. So his lead of a minute gives him a grace of 3 shots. But all the others have got to shoot clear as well. Poiré, 1:18 behind, having started 1:31 behind. So he is closing slowly. Viktor Mygorov, Pavel Rostovtsev, a Russian duo working in 5th and 6th. Petr Garabik of the Czech Republic in 7th. Vesa Haitalahti started 2nd. He's dropped down to 8th. Almost exactly what happened to Andrea Henkel, who started 2nd in the women's race.
Will still be well and truly in the race. Many people seem to be, surprisingly, when it's not so windy, having to do a penalty loop.
Well, it's got very, very bright since the start. Is he going around again?
He looks like he's going to exit. So
he's going out. So 1 penalty loop for Mark G.
Up until certainly till Christmas, till the next race.
So Frank Look going through.
Controlling himself now. He's learned from last time. Very punishing having to do it for the 45 seconds or 40 seconds. So hopefully he's managed to slow down just a little bit, compose himself, and just do the same rhythm as he has in the previous 2 races. Stalled shortness in there. Another penalty for Ule-Éinar there.
That's okay. He's shooting reasonably fast. In years gone by, he's taken an extra 10 seconds to settle before the prone shoot, and he's still not been guaranteed of hitting them all. He's certainly cut that time by about 5 or 6 seconds. In the standing, it's even more noticeable. Frank Look, very wise. He came in, took his time. He's approaching the range now, but he won't rush it either. He's not going to gain time with his drills. He may gain time by the fact that he hits 5 5 instead of 4.
Exactly, just out of the corner of his eye there, he now sees that Ulle-Éinar is not so far in front, but he will be, with his experience.
Who we mentioned earlier has gone out in 16th place, but no real changes at the top. Bjorndalen, Look, Morgenstern, still the leading 3. Then it's the Russians, Maigarov and Rostovtsev, and Raphael Poiret as we watch Bjorndalen's target. Remember, he missed the 3rd one. Well, he's slightly low right, as he was on the first shoot, so maybe the slightly affected. What could be the reason for that?
Yeah, well, I've been looking at the influence, the wind influence on the range, and there is certainly a left to right, which is it's enough to put that round out.
And when they were 0 in for his standing, although he's in a slightly different situation, he's way out in front at the moment. I think he will go through the same drills. He has the choice, though. Does he slow it down and try and make sure, or does he just do what he normally does and what he's been training for all summer, just hit the targets as quickly as he stays in the game? And he hasn't lost too much time. He's lost maybe 150 metres to Bjorndalen, and will keep himself in for another loop. Emma Gamble, you'll get better odds than you will for this man, Ulle-Éinar, who's settling for his first standing shoot. The clock started.
He's missed again.
Well, 2 misses, but he rattled through those. So another 40 seconds added to his time. The margin between Frank Look and Bjorndalen, 45 seconds. It could be close for the final shoot.
Well, over the years, Frank has been Germany's anchor man, which is the last person to go on the relay, which is an incredible pressure leg to go, and he's always come out well, so he's well and truly aware of gaining on Ulle-Éinar. So if anybody can do it, Frank can do it now to close that gap even further.
Well, he took the ankle leg yesterday, and he did it in some style to bring Germany home for their first relay. He's 34 years old now, in his final year. Perhaps he'll move on to coaching. Now, 5 out of 5, absolutely imperative.
Unlucky Frank there, that was he.
Morgenstern, the top 3. Maigarov, he's only a second behind Morgenstern, and they'll have a ripe old battle as they come through to the final step.
Penalties out of 3 visits, 3, 1 and 2 in each of those visits.
Yeah, but he's still up in 13th position, and very few men could achieve that. 3, 1 and 2, he's only missed 1 more than Ulle-Éinar. If you were watching the women's pursuit, Magdalena Forsberg came over with a big smile. There wasn't any sign of overexertion on her face. Elena Zabrilova was in the same fashion. I think we're going to find Bjorndalen comes across, although he does tend to pick up a bit of phlegm around the mouth, which may indicate that the lungs aren't in perfect condition. And bear in mind that we're just over 1,000 metres, around 1,150 metres before the end, but that's never going to happen, and nor it should.
I've just seen Fred G again shooting clear, so he is having a fantastic race. He's still ahead of some very good biathletes out there. This is the man with a mission to move up into 2nd or 3rd place. It's on the last shoot for that group of 3 or 4 people.
So this is Bjorndalen. The cameraman struggling to find out which target he was going to aim for.
Could have been a... No, sorry, I thought there was a problem there with the target.
Now, sometimes the targets don't go down, and technically you're allowed to make a complaint. You'll remember 1 or 2 occasions when it has happened and the decisions have been reversed.
That's right, it does happen. You do. It goes to the jury. You have to submit your query within, I believe, half an hour of the end of the race. So maybe we'll see something there. I didn't quite see what happened though.
So Norway tuning in on the target of Ulle-Éinar Bjorndalen, and he really has worked hard on this loop. Look, he's upped it, and this is exactly what Denny was talking about. That this is just a level of the exertion that this man puts in. Now, is that going to affect his shooting? 5 to win, 4 to win, 3, and there's a race on.
He can still win. He is pushing his luck now. He really is in danger now.
Oh, 3 penalty loops, a whole minute to go. Frank Look is less than a minute behind. He was 41 seconds behind at the last count. That could have gone up to 51. So if Frank Look can shoot clear, and he's coming into the range area now, 100 meters to go for the German, and already he's got the information that Bjorndalen has missed 3. Well, he's not on his own. Plenty of Germans around, and our German colleagues working in the next door box all on their feet, very excited by this, watching Bjorndalen. One loop completed, 2 more to go, and it's fair to say that if Bjorndalen gets out before Luke completes his shooting, then the game is over. But he's got 1.5 loops to go, and he's starting to look a little bit tired.
Does look tired.
Never thought I'd see that. So, 1 loop to go, 150 metres for Bjorndalen as he goes round. Frank Luke has 2 targets down, and in fact, I'm not sure.
Frank has got 4 targets.
And he's got 5, but Bjorndalen's gone out. I'm not sure whether he did 1 loop so fast I missed him, or whether he miscounted the shots.
Is incredible. I did see Norbert Bayer, the technical delegate, as he exited the firing range, indicating
they come under the road, and I assume they will come under the road together, and then it's 150 metres gradual uphill, and it will be a case of who's got the least lactate in the muscles.
There's a long glide leading into 400 metres before the finish, so depending if one of them has faster skis, then the advantage will go to that person. They will figure that out. They will know exactly how each of them are running, so the wise man will say make a break earlier if he has slower skis, and he'll try and break the other 2.
If you are wondering who that was rejoicing on the range, Frank Ulrich, the German men's coach, absolutely delighted both with Frank Luck and Rico Gross, who've shot exceptionally well today. Frank Luck's record 0-0-1-0. Rico Gross, he's gone 1 better. All the zeros for him, the same as Magdalena Forsberg in the women's race. And in fact, from what we can see, Rico, the only man clear at this stage. Compare that to Bjorndalen's 8 misses, and it's not going to be quite such an easy season after all.
Well, it certainly makes it easier for Rico there, and you see the advantage of hitting all these targets from 25th right up to 4th at the moment, and potentially 3rd place.
So the finishing stretch, he's going to have that slipstream effect, and if Rostovtsev can use that on Poiré and just get that little acceleration, then it's going to be a very tight thing indeed.
It's going to be a very exciting finish.
Well, Bjorndalen, he scared 1 or 2 of the Norwegian fans with a record in the range that is far from distinguished, but he's still done enough, and he won't be too fussed about that. He'll be disappointed with the standing shoot because he's been working desperately hard on that all summer. But the victory goes to him. It's another 100. So there you have the top 8 positions in the 2nd individual race of the season. The men's 12.5. But that is all from Hofhilsen. It's victory again for Sweden, Magdalena Forsberg in the women's, and Bjorndalen in the men's.